Hey, how's it going guys? This is Dave2D and this is my review of the Yoga 3 Pro. So for the past month at work, I needed access to a hybrid device. I needed a tablet at the job site, but I wanted it to have notebook capabilities. So I went with this one. Now, it's not a new device. It came out in 2014. It was refreshed in the spring of 2015. But to explain why I went with the Yoga 3 Pro, here's my review. Let's start with the quick unboxing here. You pop the lid and there's two flaps that you lift up, which actually raise the whole device up out of the box. It's kind of cool. On the inside, you have the notebook, some quick start stuff, and a two-piece AC adapter. The top of the device is aluminum. It's got a smooth finish, it's well made, and it feels pretty premium and durable. And it has a pretty prominent Lenovo logo here. The bottom of the device has that same aluminum finish. It's got 4 rubber feet here that aren't particularly grippy. They just kind of raise the whole device up, and there's 2 down-firing speakers. You can open up the bottom panel, but really there's not much you can do in here. The RAM is soldered on, but you can kind of see how big the battery is. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's like a plate. And you can also swap out the SSD for a bigger one or replace it if you need. The AC charger is 40 watts. It's a little different from your average adapter. It's got a USB socket up on the front, which you connect the cable to, and the other end of the cable is also a male USB plug, which you plug into your computer, but it has a unique shape so you can't plug it into just any USB port. All right, going around the device, we have the yellow USB port that doubles as that charging port, a second USB 3 port, mini HDMI port, and an SD card slot that doesn't go in very deep. And on the right side, we have a power button, a reset button that's sunken in, a screen rotation lock for tablet mode, volume rocker, which again for tablet mode, and an audio jack, and that third USB port. So the specs on this model, it's an Intel Core M running at 1.2 gigahertz, 13-inch IPS touch panel with a res of 3200 by 1800, integrated Intel HD 5300 graphics, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and this costs $1,100 right now directly from Lenovo, which is about $400 cheaper than when it originally launched. Okay, let's take a look at some dimensions. It's very similar in size and weight to the 13-inch MacBook Air. It comes in at about ½ an inch thick and around 2.6 pounds, so it's very thin and very light. Now, thin and light notebooks or ultrabooks are pretty common in 2015, but hybrid devices like this tend to be a little heavier, just from things like a beefier hinge and like extra materials for strengthening the chassis. So as an example, the Spectre X360 weighs in at 3.3 pounds. So when you use a hybrid device like this as a notebook, so if you use it on your desk or if you're using it on your lap, the extra weight doesn't really matter. But when you use it as a tablet, it's noticeable. And when you're holding it as a tablet for like an hour on a job site, it makes a huge difference. And this is where the Yoga 3 Pro shines, in ergonomics and usability. The hinge kind of looks like a watch band. It's got a ton of moving parts, but it keeps the whole mechanism compact. So this lightweight hinge combined with a lighter plastic chassis and Core M hardware keeps the whole device light and much more usable in the tablet mode than any other 13-inch flip screen hybrid. And surrounding the keyboard area is a dimpled, rubbery material. So you get a little textured palm rest when you're typing, which is nice and all, but it's really nice when you're using it as a tablet because it gives you something grippy to hold when you're using it. That's the other thing. If you've seen my Spectre review, when you flip the screen around on that device, your fingers would press the keyboard on the back. It doesn't do anything bad, but it's not comfortable. But on the Yoga, they designed this keyboard so that a big section up top and on the bottom is just that rubbery grip. So when you use it as a tablet, your fingers have like a nice area to hold on to and you're not hitting keys. So the engineering choices they made on the Yoga 3 Pro really make it a comfortable device to use as a tablet and as a notebook. The keyboard itself is decent. The key travel is good, but it's not as responsive and springy as I'd like. Also, it doesn't have dedicated function keys, like you need multiple keystrokes to activate something like Alt F4 or something. Kind of a bummer, but that's the price you have to pay for a grip in tablet mode, right? They kind of remove the whole row of function keys. The trackpad is okay. It's a pretty standard Windows trackpad, and it has an occasional skip or a misclick when you're using tap to click, but otherwise, it's not bad. The screen is nice. It's 3200 by 1800, so pretty high res. Viewing angles are great because it's an IPS panel, but if there was one complaint I had, it would be the brightness. It's not a dim screen by any means, but if you're in direct sunlight, it's not an easy screen to read, especially because of the glare from the glossy finish. The color accuracy is reasonable. Spider reads it as 96% sRGB and 74% Adobe RGB. Alright, let's talk performance. The SSD drive is moderately fast. It comes in at around 500 read and 430 write, kind of in the middle of the bunch for SSDs. The refresh processor for 2015 is a Core M, clocked at 1.2 GHz. I wouldn't consider it a powerful processor, but navigating around Windows is snappy and smooth, and any kind of work application like from the Office suite runs really well on it. The Core M is capable of running fanless, but they put a small, slow spinning fan in here. It idles at around 20 decibels, but the whole system gets to around 25 decibels under load, so it's still really quiet. I took a look at some thermals, and even under load, it still runs pretty cool. It runs around 7 or 8 degrees cooler than a MacBook Air. The speakers are down-firing when it's used as a laptop, but they kind of face toward you when it's a tablet. I say kind of because it's obstructed by the screen, but it still sounds pretty decent. Here's what they sound like. To be honest, I haven't had any good gaming sessions with any devices running a Core M processor, and this one's no different. Playing at the native res isn't worth your time, but you can kind of get some light gaming in at 1080p or lower. So Heroes of the Storm, Dota 2, and CSGO, they're all kind of playable, like you're gonna get 30, 40 frames per second with low settings, but it's obviously not amazing for games. The battery life is okay. I was hoping for some really crazy numbers with that huge battery, but I only got about 5 hours of regular use. That's with screen at about 70% brightness. Playing games on battery, I got a little bit less than 2 hours. And watching some movies off the drive, I got around 6.5 hours. Alright, so there's a lot of companies that manufacture hybrid 2-in-1 devices. So like the X360s from HP, the Dell 2-in-1s, the Microsoft Surface line. There's a lot of options out there, but a lot of companies don't do it right. You either get a tablet that isn't very comfortable to use or a notebook that's difficult to use on your lap. But the Yoga 3 Pro is comfortable in either configuration. It's easy to use on your lap, it's ergonomic to hold as a tablet. I think they kind of nailed it, and that's its biggest strength, just pure functionality. It's not the fastest device out there, it's also a little bit on the pricey side, but if you're looking for a hybrid device, I would definitely consider this on your short list. That's the end of the review. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, give me some thumbs, and if you loved it, give me some subs. It's been nice, and I'll see you guys next time.